everybody. My name is Jim Hogan. I'm the president of VMAC. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to each of you. I'm especially honored to extend a warm welcome to 3 influential federal and provincial cabinet ministers whose portfolios are particularly relevant to manufacturers such as VMAC. Welcome, Minister Poilievre. Welcome, Minister Bond.
Thank you.
And welcome, Minister Stilwell.
And today, we are pleased to announce that the British Columbia and Canadian governments will provide $34,000 to train 23 VMAC employees to improve their productivity, increase their output, and ultimately build better careers for them here in British Columbia. This is a proven model. 7,000 British Columbians have benefited from the job grant. It was possible because your minister, Minister Bond, who is a national leader on job training, intervened to make sure that this program would exist and succeed. And here in British Columbia, she and Minister Stilwell have ensured that British Columbians have been maximum beneficiaries. So Minister Bond has led nationwide in convincing all of her provincial counterparts in other provinces to change the system so that more workers, tens of thousands more workers who lose their jobs will be eligible for this training who were not previously eligible to receive it. And today we will be signing a brand new employment insurance job training program that is worth almost $300 million and will ensure that British Columbia's unemployed get back to work quicker, that taxpayers save more money, and our economy continues to lead the world.
Well done. Mr. Poilievre and Mr. Bond, who works tirelessly every single day on behalf of the British Columbians that need to get back to work, who want to find success, who want to find the independence. Listening to Minister Poilievre, it certainly has inspired me to recognize that there is this continued partnership between the federal government and our provincial government, especially with this renewed labor market development agreement that we will be signing momentarily. It really signals the efforts between both the federal government and the provincial government to ensure that people who need to find employment are on the path to finding successful, sustainable employment in the long term, and that we are ensuring that we are building on the progress that already has happened with the current agreement that is in place. Although we recognized that the current agreement needed some improvements, and I think that's the critical point here today, to recognize that there needs to be more flexibility so that we ensure not only those individuals who receive employment insurance income, who are receiving those funds while they're unemployed, but it's also through my ministry. It's those individuals who are receiving income assistance, who don't have jobs, who need to get back into labor force. This money will now hopefully help them find the path to success. We want all British Columbians to be able to find success, to be able to have a job that they can get up and work every day and come home to their families and support them and be role models for our children for the future. This agreement is moving our government forward in the process so that we can ensure all British Columbians have that opportunity. So I want to thank Minister Poilievre, Mr. Bond for the success and the hard work that they have done to bring us all here to the table today to ensure that we will continue to make British Columbia a strong place on the labor and economic front. We have a strong economic, diverse economy that we need everybody to succeed from. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here this morning, particularly on the traditional territory of the Sunemu First Nation. So important we work constructively with our First Nations partners. Much has been said by my two colleagues, and it's a real pleasure to be here with two people I spend a lot of time working with and have a great deal of appreciation for. But Jim, we want to say to you and Todd and Sandra and Ian and the entire VMAC team, thank you so much for being with us, for allowing us to be here today. I know that there's a lot of excitement. We really want to appreciate the skilled workers standing behind us. That is not an easy job this morning. We appreciate you, and there's nothing more. We should say thank you to them. They're fantastic. And for me, as a lifelong British Columbian and someone who is a very proud Canadian, there is nothing more exciting than being at a place where this is a company that celebrates its innovation and its ability to meet the national demand. When you think about it, this is a company right here in Little Nanaimo, a very well-kept secret from my perspective. I'm so glad we got to be here together because we can now talk about this company as we tell British Columbians and Canadians. This is an internationally recognized company. And when I think about what we're dealing with in British Columbia today, the potential for expanded industry, whether it's a liquefied natural gas industry or, as we see our economy expanding here, this is exactly the type of company that we need to see. And Todd was explaining to me earlier that, it is about innovation. It's about reaching into that European market, tapping into that international marketplace. And you've got to be nimble and adaptive in order to do that. That's what VMAC is all about. And so as Pierre said earlier, we are so thrilled that this company was successful with the help of people like John and others, making sure that we can bring a successful Canada Jobs Grant application right here to this company to train 23 people, because we're going to step up to the plate in terms of some financing there. But you know what's even more important? VMAC is stepping up. 1/3 of the funding to train those workers comes from this company. That's the kind of leadership we need to see right across British Columbia and across Canada. The Jobs Grant was created to say industry needs to step up. So VMAC employees, you should be really proud of your team today who said we're going to step up and invest in our workforce. And they managed to twist the arms of the federal and provincial government to bring 2/3 of the funding, and they're only bringing 1/3. So I think that's a pretty good demonstration of what a great business people they really are. So I do want to recognize that, one thing I know about Minister Poilievre, he is no shrinking violet, I can tell you that. But we've had really candid conversations with the federal government. And one of the things that I've been so impressed by, both with Pierre, his predecessor, Minister Kenny, and others, is we can have tough conversations, but at the end of the day, there's a willingness to find a way to make this work. That's exactly what happened with the Canada Jobs Grant. We share a mutual interest in making sure that training in this country is attached to a job. We want to make sure we're using labor market data and hiring connecting our funding to jobs that matter today and in the future. And so I just want to say to you, Pierre, since you've become minister, you've been extremely progressive, been willing to listen. Very much appreciate that. We would not be here today signing an agreement that talks about 8 years of certainty in funding, which is hundreds of millions of dollars every year for the province of British Columbia. Wouldn't have happened without your willingness to work with us. And I want to say thank you on a personal note for being willing to listen, make some adjustments, and make it happen for British Columbia. We're really grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing that. And I guess in closing, it's important to look at this as a partnership. We get to do our jobs, but we don't get to do it without great employers like VMAC. And you're going to hear from some of the employees today about what a difference a Canada Jobs Grant Fund allows for them personally. That's really what all of us care about. It's not about the politics of it. It's not about what government. And one thing I do know, we have one taxpayer. And nobody sits around trying to figure out who's paying for what. I can tell you that. I think that you as taxpayers expect us at varying levels of government to be able to get along, to figure it out, and to make things happen. That's exactly what happened here today. So congratulations, VMAC. Thank you for your application to the Jobs Fund. Thank you, Minister Poilievre and Stillwell, for working on our labour market development agreement. It means we can put British Columbians at the front of the job line, and that's our #1 priority as a British Columbia government. So thanks for having us. Really great day. great chance to see a British Columbia business that we're very proud of. So thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.